Okay, so let's take a look at how you can draw the violin plot in Python using Matplotlib library. So first thing you are going to do is open command prompt or terminal. Here make sure you have Python installed. Then to install packages use pip. So pip install. Here you can type in Matplotlib, hit enter, complete the installation. Then make sure to also have Jupyter Lab, which should install a lot of libraries along with it. So we are running this in Jupyter Notebook. To run it, we will type in Jupyter space notebook, or alternatively you can start Jupyter server. Sorry, it should be Jupyter dash lab, right? So Jupyter dash lab, that should open a new window in Edge or whatever the browser that you have. Now if I click on notebook, it should open the notebook. Now here I'll be doing import numpy as np and import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Right now the next thing we can use np.random.seed. So we will have some seed ready. So for that we will simply use this. Then we will use x, the np.random.normal, right? Then 0, 2 and 100. So we have that part covered. So once we have x value properly created, we can go with plt.subplots, right? Then x dot violin plot, right? So in case of violin plot, we'll be passing the value of x, then plt dot show, right? So what we can do, we can select all of these, run, or simply use shift enter. As you can see, this is our violin plot, right? So the thing is, I want to play with various custom options for this plot, right? For example, as you can see, this is a vertical orientation. If I want to change that to horizontal, I will simply type vert and then use false to that parameter. And if I select this and run, it should change the orientation. You can also remove the extrema. So to do that, you can use show then extrema. Hopefully there is no upper lowercase in case of show extrema. You can run this and the extrema is gone. So what we have done so far is we created one basic violin plot. Then we have our orientation changed to horizontal. We also remove the extrema, right? There are a few more things we can do, like changing the mean and median and either showing that or hiding that, right? To do that, what we can do is we can remove this particular and then show means, set it for true. Also show medians, set it for true. If we select all of these and run, that should show you the median and means, right? So what we have done again, let's repeat, which is creating basic violin plot, changing its orientation, removing extrema, then adding mean and median to the plot, right? There are also quantiles that you can add, but your quantiles will require you to show some values, right? So for that, what we can do is we can use quantiles, right? Then equals to, then within square bracket use 0.25 then 0.5, and then 0.75. Right? These are the quantiles that will be shown, right? So as you can see, that will be visible when we set the set values. You can play around with values and change the output of quantile there. Right, now comes the part where we can plot by group of values. Right, so for that what we can do is we will create a new set for our values. So let's say I choose x1, then x1 np.random would be holding. Let's say we will be also be needing normal function, right? So inside that we will use 246, right? Then say 1.2 and 0.6, right? And then what we can do is we use say something like 303, right? So we have like 3 set of values and we want to put that into our violin plot, right? So I can replace this existing one from this x1, which contains 3 set of values, basically forming a group. So we are forming plot out of these group of values. So if I run this, so let's see, as you can see, each of that value forming a plot, and then collectively 3 of those figures are formed here, all because of the values that we set in our x1 value, right? Then there are ordering option as well. You can set the positions. For that we will use comma and then positions equals to within square bracket 2, then 1, and then 3, right? And if we select all of this and display, it will position it accordingly, right? So you will also notice the difference compared with our previous plot, right? So what we have done so far is we managed to plot the basic violin plot. We also changed the orientation, removed extrema, right, with show extrema set to false. Then we added mean and median, which is using show means, show medians property set to true or parameter set to true. Then we have added quantiles by setting custom values for our quantiles parameter. Then we added group of plots. Then we also custom ordered those plots, right, and set their positions. So pretty much this is what we have done for plotting the violin plot. You can play around with the colors. Again, you can choose error bars as well, right? And you can also add some of the other values like changing those dash and bar values, like so more depth you get with it, the more you can play around with violin plot, right? So depending on the data that you have available, you can choose to draw these plots, right? There are multiple other libraries as well for allowing you to plot. For example, Seaborn, you can do this. We already done the violin plot in Matplotlib right here, and then you can also try out some of the plots through R as well. So violin plot is also possible in R, and for that we will use ggplot2, right? But considering this is Python specific discussion, so this is the violin plot that we created using Python. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to also add a few more things, one being setting the title and another being setting the xtick labels, right? So to do that, we will just create some space here, then we will add xtick labels, then equals to, then within square bracket we will add, say with single quote, right? Let's say I want to set label 1, then label 2, and one more which is label 3, right? So we have like 3 tick labels. So if we have to set them, we will use x dot set then x ticks, right? So for that we will use, let's see, right, so we use 1 inside the square, 1 2 3, we get our ticks, right? Then in order to add them we will use x dot set underscore x ticks, right, and x tick labels, right? Within that function we will pass our x tick labels, right? We can set to just label, right? This way we can differentiate, right? So let's try and run this and see if it works. And we got our x ticks to 1 2 and 3 to these 3 respectively. We can also add title to our violin plot with ax dot set underscore title, and then just type in your violin plot, right? So if we run this, it should add the title along with our text to respective violin plots.